Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is gonna be a very fun reading vlog. I'm just here to intro. This is a late intro, but I hope that you guys enjoy this video. I'm reading the books, more specifically, these books from last Booktober's Try a Chapter. Last year, I read each of the first or second chapters of these books and then told you guys like what I thought, if like they sounded interesting, and then I, surprise, surprise, didn't read any of them. Who is shocked? Not me. So this year, I am actually going to read all 5. I've dedicated this entire reading vlog to these 5 books, and I've done them. I've read them, all but one. I have one to go. So yeah, this is basically going to be the reading vlog where I just revisit these books and tell you how I feel about them, how they go. Last year, I enjoyed all of them fairly well enough. There wasn't anything like groundbreaking. They weren't like poorly rated. None of them sounded bad. I think that this one was most beautiful prose. I think this one had the most intrigue. I just was like really invested early on. This one was probably the worst of all of them, first chapter wise. I just didn't. No, I love the first chapter of this. The first chapter really set this up well because it tells you a little bit about like the mystery, and you're like, ooh, that's fascinating. Brutal Hearts and The Coldest Touch were the 2 that I was like least excited for. Like, they were fine. This one is a novella horror set in like the wilderness. I thought it was all right. For a first chapter, it wasn't anything crazy. And The Coldest Touch, I actually thought that the first chapter was pretty all right. I read the first 2 chapters so that I had like an idea for both perspectives. And yeah, overall, like, it was fine. I like the writing. I just needed more from, like, I had to read the rest of the story to really like grasp what was going to be going on in this. But yeah, that's the intro. Let's get into actually reading these books and what I actually think, because okay. Hello, how do we do? I have finally started a book. I am starting with House of Hollow because my library hold is going away tomorrow morning, so I want to finish this before that would happen. This one does, typically deciding the reading based off their library holds. So I actually read the first hour. This is going to take me 3 hours in total. I read the first hour this morning and got to page 106. I'm on chapter 10 now, and I'm liking it, but I don't think I'm loving it yet, which honestly, this is like, was a total 5-star prediction. It wasn't until about page 80 where I was like getting a little bit more excited. It's horror, it's thriller, it's fantasy. So far, it's just been mystery though, and not a whole lot of anything else. Like, we are following these 3 sisters who were kidnapped as children, and someday they were brought back and things were better, and they came back with some weird abilities. They weren't quite themselves, and so there's something going on with their deceased father, as well as present day their sister Gray has disappeared. So we are following Vivi and primarily Iris. Iris is the narrator, and they are kind of on the hunt to find Gray. They've been seeing this man in a bowl skull, kind of stalking them, kind of being deadly towards them. Not a good guy, not safe, not great. And so they're basically just trying to find her. They found some like weird notes. She's really into the occult, and they all have powers that kind of help them influence other people, just have like this weird charm, but also like smells play a really big role in this, which I think is really interesting. I can't say I've smelled a lot of death in my life, so it's kind of hard to understand, but I can visualize a bit. There's been a few maybe kind of scary scenes, but nothing that's really stuck. I don't think the writing style is for me. It doesn't feel like anything super special or spectacular, and I'm kind of just here for the ride. I'm hoping that, obviously, we've got a ways to go. We still got 2/3 to go, so I'm hoping that it'll pick up more and just kind of get a little bit more interesting. But so far it's so I really hope I like this, but we'll see. I'm gonna keep reading. I've got 2 hours left. I'll probably check in the next 100 pages unless nothing has happened, and then we'll wrap up when I finish this. But I gotta get to reading. So hello. So last night I actually finished House of Hollows. There's Kyrie, and I'm so disappointed. I really wanted to love this. Like, this was a 5-star prediction. It was very like anticipated on just my TBR, something I was so excited to get to. It's fantasy horror, my favorite genre. It's YA. I was so excited. The premise just sounded very interesting and up my alley because we've got these 3 sisters. One disappears, they're solving the mystery, like things are constantly happening, but the story doesn't say anything. It's not doing a lot. There's not many conversations happening. I didn't connect with any of the characters. My favorite was Tyler, and his character was still like kind of annoying. None of them acted like 20-year-olds. Like, our main character Iris is 17, but her older sisters are like 20 and 23 or something like that, like older, and they act very YA, and I just didn't like it. The story had a few kind of spooky moments, but nothing gripping, because it's mostly like the imagery and the description of smells that are supposed to make you eerie or creeped out, and it never does that to me. I never felt strong emotions or anything. This might be a really good beginner place for somebody trying to get into fantasy horror, but it just didn't really work for me like I wanted it to. I don't know if it was just the writing. I don't know, but I'm so bummed about it. I was so excited for this. I really liked the first chapter, and I feel like it left such an ambiguous ending. Like, it left opening for a sequel, and I don't think we've gotten a sequel or any news of any sequel, and so I just felt like, what was the point? Like, in the end, I didn't feel much closure. Like, we solved the mystery, kind of, and I don't know, it just didn't work for me like I wanted it to, and I'm so upset about it. It's such a beautiful cover. Yeah, this one bugged me out a little bit. I was so freaking excited for it, but alas, I think it's fine. I don't know. I'm a little concerned about this video now of like, am I actually going to like any of these? Because 2 of them are also young adult that just were kind of in the original video because they kind of fit the theme. And then we've got 2 that are adult that I think I'm gonna like, but now I'm scared. I don't know. Wow. Okay, hey guys, I just got to part 2 of Bunny. Chapter 15, page, I don't know, 123, which is about 40%. I'm getting it. This is a pretty quick read. I spent like the first 60 something pages just listening to the audiobook, which is pretty good, I'll say. So I was just kind of listening to it. I was a little bit tired and I was just resting my eyes and listening, and it was a great experience. I do recommend the audiobook. You can read it without and it'll still be good, but like if you don't have the physical book and it's not like at your library or whatever, I think that the audio is good and adds to that just outer body experience. So in this, we are following our main character Samantha, which, yes, is a little bit strange for me to read characters with the same name. Mostly they call her Samantha, though. Sometimes they call her by her full legal name, and so it kind of helps me in that sense because my name is Samantha, but I go by Sam. So it when people call her Sam, I'm like, no, not me. I don't wanna. I don't wanna. But anyway, Samantha goes to a pretty kind of prestigious, it's an elite university for writing, and is in a small little like workshop with a few other girls that are very heavily in a clique, very best friends. they all call each other Bunny, and they all love each other so much, and it's a little strange outside looking in. But Samantha has that typical like dark academia want of wanting to be a part of something, an outsider coming in, just joining the enemy. That's not correct, but like wanting to be a part of something more, wanting to be a part of this clique, this atmosphere. Obsession is very heavy in this story, and I'm loving it. And basically the bunnies have this thing called the smut salon, where they party, they hang out, they do stuff, things happen, and slowly Samantha kind of finds herself getting invited to events, showing up at these events, befriending the bunnies, and just kind of like being in the clique. And so far Samantha's like at the point where she's getting into it, but she's not fully there, you know? Like, things are going on. Page 93. If you have read this, page 93, when they're at a party, my jaw was on the floor. I didn't know. I truly, I feel like this is a book that is just best to go into so blind. Like, don't have expectations. Don't know fully what this is going to be about. Don't read the synopsis. Just kind of go into it and just like see what happens, because I love Samantha's relationship with Ava, which is her best friend before the bunnies kind of take her under their wings. And then I love like the interactions with the bunnies. I just there's something about like that cutesy, creepy aesthetic to them that I'm just eating up. I'm really enjoying this. Like, I thought I was gonna like it, just because like so many people do. Like, some of my book friends, like, this is their favorite book. Like, they have tattoos inspired from this book. It's like, this is very popular and loved by the masses, and so I was a little hesitant if like I was going to like it as much, but at the same time, like, I could see myself liking it. But there's only one other book right now. I've read Mona Awad's All's Well, and it took me a really long time to get into that and find enjoyment in it. So I was worried that it was going to be like that with this book, but it not at all the same. Oh my god, I'm so excited for Rouge now. Anyway, this was a very long clip. I'm going to keep reading this because I want to finish ASAP. So, see ya. Okay, hey guys. So I finished Bunny, and I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it. I really loved the first part, and obviously this is going to be no spoilers because I want people to read this and go into it not knowing what to expect, not going into it knowing what they're going to get out of this, okay? It's a really interesting story. It's definitely dark academia. It's definitely feminine and about women, and there's a lot going on in here, and I really enjoyed the first part. Love the first part. I loved being with the bunnies. I loved that hive mentality. I loved the kind of cult aspect to it, if you will. I really enjoyed that, as well as like the way that the hive mind kind of talk to each other, and how they would like Samantha would feel something but say the exact opposite, and they would compliment things that they didn't actually like or weren't even there, and it was such an interesting way to play around with the mind. And this is such a mind fuck, because there's just I don't want to spoil anything. I don't know how to talk about this. If you've read this, feel free to DM me any thoughts and opinions. I would love to chat about this. This is obviously going up way later than I'm reading it, so I will still love to talk about it. I definitely think this is something you can like reread and see new things and find different pieces to fit the puzzle, if you will. But I really loved part one. And then Ava, the best friend, makes things better for Samantha, if you will. Like, helps a little bit with what's going on, but I didn't like it as much at that point. Like, it started to go a little bit downhill in part 2, and then part 3 it got interesting again, and I liked it, especially as like we're figuring out some of the answers to things. So there was a bit of a lull in the middle where I was like, I'm not entertained anymore. I'm not as invested. I don't care as much. I really liked how the story was progressing earlier, and there's something that I just really enjoy in books is like that descent into a new mentality, sometimes insanity type of exploration, like when you're reading a woman main character and she thinks she's going crazy, so you feel like you're going crazy with her. Those are my favorite types of books, where like the author just writes it so well that it feels like I'm there, like I'm in the same mindset. And I really loved Mona Awad's writing in this one. It was incredible. I wished that this was the experience that I was able to have with All's Well, and it just wasn't, unfortunately. But I really enjoyed this. I went into this thinking one thing. I'm not sure where I heard it from, but I heard somebody once talk about Bunny, and I thought I was spoiled. Like, I thought I knew something I wasn't supposed to know going into this. Oh boy, was I so wrong, so incorrect. I'm blown away. It was wonderful. It was so interesting. And I'm gonna be honest with you, after I finished reading this, I did scour YouTube to read other people's spoilery opinions. I actually came across a book podcast, Lewd Literature, I believe. I will leave it in the description if I remember. But I really liked hearing other people talk about it. It's just so fascinating, especially because this book has such an impact on booktubers as a whole. Katie Coulson's Patreon is themed around Bunny and the Smut Salon, and Books with Chloe rebranded to be Chloe Bunny because this book had such an impact on Chloe as well. So it's just really cool that like I'm now in the know. Like, I've read the book, so I kind of understand like where these people are coming from, like why they like it. This was a lot of fun. I have no idea how I'm gonna rate this. I'm gonna be entirely honest. The writing is a 10. The plot was like an 8. The intrigue was like 10. The characters, 7 probably. I don't know. Bunny. Okay, Bunny. I am going to be joining the Bunny cult. Oh no. So that makes this a 4.5. I'm probably gonna round up on Goodreads because I did have a lot of fun reading this, and it was like it shocked me, it gave me enjoyment, it gave me entertainment, and I really liked that. So I think I'm gonna rate it a 5, even though it's not like 5-star, I loved it, 5-star favorite. But I think in the future, revisiting the story like next year or something, I might have a bit of a better opinion of it, like coming back to it another time. So that was Bunny. We read it. How fun. I really enjoyed that one. I think next I'm gonna try and pick up Brutal Hearts, just because this is pretty short and there's not a lot of words to the page, so I don't think it'll take me too terribly long, and then I'll dive into the last 2 after that. But this we're on the up now. We started a little low, we're going up now. It's great. I have new lights. They're stuck like this, so they're cute. I like the rainbow, but I didn't always want rainbow, but I broke them. So if I get a new set, cool. If not, cool. But it is fitting for this read because this is so gay. It's so gay. Oh my god, it matches. Wow. So this is like a 90s set. Horror novella with sapphic gay characters. There's also 2 autistic characters. I will read you the part of the afterword. It's long. I won't read you all of it. It's important to me that characters and stories I write include representation that I wish I had more of, but is equally important to stress that there isn't just one specific way to be anything. 2 of the characters in the story are queer and 2 are autistic, but those are just parts of the whole. It's not a huge part of the story, it's just parts of who the characters are. Sometimes the characters die, make bad choices, or aren't very good people. And that's another thing that means a lot to me in both writing and reading fiction. Nobody in the world is perfect, and morally grayness is something I love reading and writing. And I just thought that was kind of cool. So in this, we are following a group of girls currently. I'm a little under halfway. But in this, we are following 4 girls. 3 of them are good friends. So there's 2 best friends, which are, oh my god, names. There's Leah, I'm not sure, probably Leah. There's Leah and her best friend Charlotte. Charlotte's little sister May. They're like a trio of friends, and they are into the occult and like kind of on the witchy side. And then there is Leah's girlfriend, Josie. Did I really remember all of that? I'm so cool. Is that correct? Yeah, Josie. So we're following Josie's perspective. Josie is the girlfriend who's kind of the outsider of the friend group, and this takes place a year after tragic events where Leah's boyfriend Simon disappeared. They got in a fight and he went on a hike alone without her and did not come back ever. And so they were like engaged, they were gonna get married out of high school, like it was intense. A year after his disappearance, Leia just like can't seem to really move on. She's having nightmares still where Simon is kind of just there, and she's like, you know what, if we do this ritual, I think it will really help me and kind of move on. Seeing as she's like romantically already moved on, just emotionally, like that's a lot of trauma. So we're following them on the hike as they go do this ritual, and we're learning snippets of the past where we learn more about Simon and Leah's relationship, but also present day on this hike that kind of goes into the night, and there might be something following them. Also, May has a Tamagotchi. That's really important to me. I love that. This actually, I got this on Etsy as a pre-order because it's independently published. It's with Galactic Press, and it came with stickers. So there's one that says, I killed the teen dream, and then like a little like vampire-y mouth looking thing. But the best part is the Tamagotchi stickers. It says Brutal Hearts. I love it. So those are cool. Those I have. I'm enjoying it. I don't love it. I like the premise. The characters are a little bit young and naive and immature, but that's to be expected. They are high schoolers. But I feel like for being engaged and being queer and moving on to a new relationship, like you'd imagine one girl would be in therapy after losing her fiance to nature on a hike. That's trauma. She should be in therapy. But also, they're just not like characters that I really love. I have my theories of some things already, but I am enjoying it. It's a pretty quick read. The margins are pretty big, the words pretty big, pretty spaced out too. So I am liking it, but I'm not really loving it. It's not a book that I want to pick back up, but I'll probably finish it in the next sitting, and I didn't want to read through it without checking in and giving you guys some kind of update. So there's your update. Ta-da! I don't know when I'm going to pick this back up. I am reading other things in between, but it is in the works at the very least. But yeah, I love the feel of these like soft matte paperback covers. Oh, so good. So yeah, I'm liking it. I like the girlfriends a lot. I don't like Charlotte whatsoever. I don't trust her. But yeah, that's kind of my reading updates for this video. So I will check in when I finish Brutal Hearts eventually sometime. Hi pals, I'm sorry you can see into my bathroom. Let me wait. Hello guys, I have finally finished Brutal Hearts. I don't want to be too harsh on this because I don't know like how, like if this is a debut yet or like how established this author is, and I don't want to discourage people from picking it up if it sounds interesting to them, but it's not like the best book. It's a novella, and I actually really enjoy novellas. I really like shorter books, anthologies. I actually get a good kick out of those. But this one fell victim to what a lot of novellas fall victim to, of just not having enough depth, trying to do too much, but not having the time to flesh it out. And so this is a story following 4 girls that go on a hike to do a sort of ritual, spiritual, witchy ritual to say goodbye to one of their boyfriends who disappeared on this exact hiking trail 1 year prior, and is kind of haunting her dreams and nightmares because she has some guilt around their interaction before he left and disappeared, and like his body was never recovered, so they don't really know what happened. And so she's got a lot of like guilt, and now she's dating one of the girls in this group, and there's a lot of like high school emotions going on there. There's a lot that each of the characters are feeling and know, and at times we go back in through the timeline to see like the interaction before it happened, and sometimes you get cases of other missing people with this detective, which I didn't care for. I don't feel like it really added to the story at all, and it didn't feel super necessary, unfortunately. But I did enjoy basically the 2 leads. I actually enjoyed all 4 of the girls to some extent, for what their characters' purpose was. I liked it. This is a survival story, a monster kind of story. Like there's something hiding in the forest on the hiking trail trying to get them. And so there's a bit of like a survival, but then there's also gore. Oh my god. She's gross, and I liked it. I actually really enjoyed the hunt aspect, if you will. I enjoyed the girls' relationships. I just felt like it was saying things, but it didn't really dive into things. Like, I didn't really understand why the ending happened quite how it did. I didn't quite understand, like, each of the characters' motivations and their relationships, because one of the girls has a secret against the other girl, and I'm just like, why are we friends? I don't get it. And so there's just a few things like that would happen that I was just like, I don't get it, but there's no time to explain. And like, you would think 148 pages is a lot, but again, like, it's double line, double spaced, which I fucking hate. Stark white pages, big font, massive margins. So like, there's not actually a lot of words to begin with in general. This was a quick read, but I just never really wanted to pick it back up. So I'd say it's a solid 3. Like, it's not great, it's not bad, it's just not. It's just nothing really. But I'm happy to have read it. I'm happy to have supported this author, because I like supporting indie authors where I can. And again, I love how this book feels, so I can't complain too much. So the next book in the stack that I'm going to be picking up is going to be The Coldest Touch. This is by Isabel Sterling. Death drew them together. Life could tear them apart. This was a Fairy Loot exclusive. It's just a little bonus paperback that we had gotten. And I believe one of the girls, every time she touches someone, she experiences how they die. So she knows people's like deaths, and that sounds traumatizing. But then she's unable to prevent her brother's death, which, you know, more trauma and guilt. And then she meets Claire, who is a vampire, and they end up kind of helping one another and falling in love. So I'm pretty excited and intrigued. I've seen a few people read this. I don't know a whole lot as to like general reviews and how people feel, but it is 375 pages exactly, and it's a normal book. So smaller font, close together, as you do. So yeah, I'm going to be starting this in the next couple of days probably, and I will try to get this done so that I can finally move on to A Certain Hunger, which I'm most excited for now. So yeah, I don't think this will be a 5-star, truly, but I am intrigued nonetheless. I'm excited to see some sapphic high school relationships. Oh my god, okay. Hi. I have made 100 I haven't talked in a little bit. I've made it 100 pages into The Coldest Touch by Isabel Sterling, and it's a lot of just like setting it up. It's very young adult, so if you don't want to be in the mind of a high schooler, might not be the one for you, but I've enjoyed it so far. We are following 2 different perspectives. We are following Claire, who is a vampire, tasked with helping Elise, who is a newly paranormal gal being introduced to this other world and just complete new community, basically. And she's the death oracle, which means that she will touch another human and like see their death, but like can't do anything about it. She's kind of having a rough time. This comes upon her after watching the death of her brother. Talk about ouch. And so it's basically them trying to get along and like work together so far. I know that this is sapphic, they're holding hands, I know they're gonna be a couple, but like right now they're barely friends. They're keeping secrets from each other. High school drama, you definitely get like the school setting in the beginning, which I actually really enjoy. Oh, and there's also a murder mystery plot. So Dark Academia Who, I'm enjoying this. I think it's just a lot of fun. It's a light, easy read. I enjoy the fun of it. Like, there is like actual issues happening. Like, one of them is discovering their identity, I think, because she says she's straight and she's dealing with like so much grief on top of that, like this newfound power, and excluding herself from her friends, no longer being on the swim team, breaking up with her boyfriend, like exiling her best friend, basically just completely separating from the world, almost expelled out of this like very elite private school, just like going through it. And then we've got like this vampire who's just like, I'm so pissed off that I'm stuck at 17 forever because this is my personal hell. I really enjoy that. Like, I really love so far the vampiric lore. I just really like it. Like, obviously she can go in the sun and she can see her reflection in the mirror, but also she's not drinking blood. She can't be in the sun as well, and like just she's not doing as good. She's hungry, she's starving. It's not good. But I like all the lore so far. I enjoy this type of vampire. I love the reference of our main girl being like, well, in Twilight, they're like this. And she's like, that's not real. I really like that. I'm excited to continue and see where it goes from here, but I'm actually really enjoying this so far. Some hours later, I finished this. I didn't think to run this through Compile before talking to you right now, so I don't know how I'm gonna rate this. I didn't think about that. Oh my god, that hornet's nest is huge now. Oh no. Anyway, sorry. Squirrel brain. I don't know my rating. Let's talk. Let's discuss. So the plot continues. What I told you continues. They kind of form a friendship and alliance. There's like your third act conflict. Again, I really like the vampire lore and like the supernatural world lore. I enjoyed the twist, although none of them were super surprising. But it's not a thriller, so like I don't want to be too harsh on that. But it wasn't like, oh my gosh, these people are alive, or oh my gosh, this person betrayed them, blah blah blah. Like, you know, like the typical book things. Like, none of them were surprising. Like, you could see them coming because there was clues in the beginning. They might get some people, I don't know. But I did have like a lull period, like in the 200s range, where I was like, okay, when we like speed this up, it's getting a little annoying. Elise wasn't quite as fleshed out as a character as Claire was. I really liked Claire, even though she was like a vampire stuck at 17, and oh my god, sometimes she would get real obnoxious. I'm like, honey, I get it, you're like hormones, your brain is developed at 17 forever, but oh my god, you don't think, like, you would imagine 50 or whatever years of life experience, you would have like a little bit better rationale and just like make good decisions, maybe, I don't know. That part got a little annoying. It got a little bit long towards the middle end, but then it started picking up and I was like interested again. I enjoyed the fact that there was like a murder mystery. I enjoyed the surprise to that. I enjoyed the conclusion. I thought was actually really well done. I rooted for these two characters to be together. I actually really enjoyed the romance side to this and like their few interactions. I definitely think the paranormal plot could have been a little bit bigger and maybe like the high school drama a little smaller, but that's just me, and that's maybe because like I'm not in high school, so I don't have the same mindset. But I did have a lot of fun with this. It was dragging there at the end. That could be because I was getting tired. We're good now, don't worry. But I was getting tired and I was just like, okay, can we just like wrap this up? Like, I know how this is gonna end. Can we just like end it? But overall, I thought that it was cute. I enjoyed the friends. The one strange thing was anytime the book mentioned a character of color, specifically a black character, like the B was capitalized. And I don't know if that's like normal or if there's like a point for that. I thought it was like a little strange, but it was like a black woman. And I was like, why is that capitalized? I don't know. That might just be my brain. But I thought it was a little weird because like white people weren't capitalized. And I was like, does this mean something that I'm like missing because I'm dumb? I don't know. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was very cute and fun. I want to say it's probably like a 4-star. Like, it's definitely not a 5-star. But I feel like 3 is a little bit low because I just had like fun with this. I enjoyed these characters. I enjoyed the romance. I enjoyed the like Death Oracle magic, as well as like the vampire lore, and like there's witches and werewolves. And I feel like this is definitely a world that could be expanded in future books. Like, not necessarily following these characters, but just like this world. I think there could be more, and like we could get cameos because she's the Death Oracle. I just think that could be cool. Could this have a sequel? Absolutely. Will it? I don't think so. But there is definitely like a room for that based on the ending. But yeah, 3.5. Round up 4 on Goodreads. I think that's how we're leaning. That's where we're at, maybe. That feels right. Sure. Let's go with that. So that leaves the last book for this video, which is A Certain Hunger by Chelsea Summers. With this, that's a terrible example, which small ass font. This can take me a while. It's like, it feels good in your hands. I'm really enjoying paperbacks lately. It's 250 pages, and I know damn well this is gonna take me so long. She kind of matches my makeup though. Like Moody Autumn, I'm loving it. But oh my god, this is going to take me so long. I might pick up the audiobook, but it's an Audible exclusive. We will see. It's like beautiful writing from what I remember from the first chapter, but I also remember this one took me the longest because it's just better writing. It's adult. It's like beautiful literary writing. We'll see. We will see. I don't know if I'll pick up the audiobook or not yet, but I will give it a try, and I will keep you updated when I actually pick this up. I'll probably check in halfway. I just remember that this is about a woman who is a cannibal serial killer. And I remember something catching on fire. So, great. Hello, hello. My cat is playing. I'm sorry if you can hear it. Girls gotta live. Okay. We are reading the final book. Oh my gosh. It's rough. So, if you're not up to date on my channel, sub. Thanks for sticking it out this long. Basically, I've been in a really bad reading slump, so this is the final book. I have made it an entire 79 pages. Woohoo! The thing is like the concept, the idea of reading sounds terrible. I just like want to watch basically TV and like lounge around, but I need to. This video is like, I'm gonna be so real. It is 7 p.m. I have 2.5 hours left of this, and then I have to edit this video and upload it today. I make really good decisions. It's fine. Reading slumps happen. You just gotta take it day by day. Anyway, A Certain Hunger. So this is about a woman in prison, in jail. I don't know if she's awaiting trial or if she's already been like convicted. I think she's been convicted. And this feels very much like a incredibly well-written memoir. It feels very real. It's very vulgar at times, and some of it makes me uncomfy, and the rest of it is like really fun, and like I'm laughing a lot. This is like, I'm so sorry I'm about to say this, but like kind of a feminist wet dream. Anyway, I won't elaborate. Basically, we were following Dorothy though, who is in jail for killing men and apparently eating them. I haven't gotten to that part yet. I just know that it's like a part of this. She's also a food critic. I'm currently in the chapters where she is living her best life in Italy, and has like this on and off thing with this guy Marco. Truly, the narrator for this is so good, and I'm having a great time. When I'm actually reading it, I'm really enjoying it, but it's not a book that I'm thinking about a lot, and I'm not really wanting to pick it back up right now, so we're gonna do that. I'm gonna knock this out. We're gonna finish it in 2.5 hours, and then I will tell you guys my final thoughts. The writing is absolutely gorgeous. I think that she's an incredible writer. It feels very real. It feels like somebody's actually telling me their life story. Like, we've learned about her friend, her mom getting cancer. Like, check the trigger warnings. Holy cow, there's so much in here, but I'm enjoying it. I am liking this. I just gotta get back into the headspace of liking it. But that's my update. I'll check in with you guys when I'm done, and then I can wrap this all up. See you in 2.5 hours. Well, how does one talk about this? It is sexy and delicious and poetic. It's delightful, but also disturbing and offensive and everything that's like taboo in this world, everything that people that enjoy true crime are curious about. It is so many things in this book, and like, I don't want to rate it highly because of the contents. Like, this is a perspective of somebody who has done horrible crimes, who has no remorse for these crimes. So like, you're not rooting for her, but yet you're kind of like rooting for her, and she feels so human by the last 2 chapters that like you feel some sort of like comfort, like happiness. I don't know if I'm okay. Anyone who enjoys this, are we okay collectively? I think this is 4 stars. Honestly, like, not quite a 5, just because I got a little bit bored, and I don't know if I'll ever find a 5-star in this state, but like, potentially a 4.5. I'll have to run it through Compile later to really like figure it out and hone in. But what do I know, chapter 18 has me, I might think about it for a while. This book says so much. It touches on like, there's like, it's jokes there. It makes me laugh. Like, I laughed out loud a couple times. I agree with some of the statements. I think some of it is just like beautiful and profound, while also like disturbing, disgusting, and just repulsive, and you're just, it's so much. I don't know what to do with this information, but I'm so happy I finally read this. I didn't like enjoy my time, but I still like enjoyed the book. I don't know if I'm okay. Am I a twisted, dark individual? Am I all right? Who knows? I enjoyed this. I love Italy. I want to go so desperately bad. That is like number 1 of my travel list. I would love to be able to like speak the Italian that is said in this book better. The love for Italy in here is just so good, and it just made me so happy, and just these characters, and just, there's just so much going on, and that's well, that's it though. We did it. That was the book. That was wild. I don't know how to feel. My hair's a mess. It's been a long day. It is 9:30, so we gotta edit and upload this video stat. But thank you guys for hanging out with me. I'm glad to have finally read these books, to say that I have done it after an entire literal year. I have finally read these books that have been on my shelves for so long, that I've been wanting to get to for so long. So that feels good. Didn't go how I thought it would, but by the end, this would be the ranking. We'd have House of Hollows at the bottom, unfortunately, even though I think this was like the one I was most excited for and had the most hopes for. Followed by Brutal Hearts. Just, it's a novella. It's good, but it's not gonna have the same impact. Next would be The Coldest Touch, which was just fun, cute, romance, young adult. I liked it. And then we've got A Certain Hunger, and then of course Bunny, which since reading it has still stuck with me. I cannot ever forget the story. I will never forget these women. I cannot wait to read this again and like experience it a second time with like a new perspective and lens, and like knowing the ending. Oh, I'm so excited. This was a win. So yeah, overall, that was the whole thing. We did it. Ta-da! Bye!